which is the best smartphone processor of 2025. Snapdragon 8 Elite Generation 5, Apple A19 Pro, Dimensity 9500, Exynos 2500, Tensor G5. 5 processors, 5 flagship phones, same year, same expectations. And trust me, some results shocked me. Let's start the right way. These processors were tested inside the best possible phones available in the US market. Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, Red Magic 11 Pro, Apple A19 Pro, iPhone 17 Pro Max, Dimensity 9500, OPPO Find X9 Pro, Exynos 2500 Galaxy Flip 7, and Tensor G5 Pix 10 Pro XL. Different phones, yes, but these are the best real-world platforms to push these chips to their limits. Let's begin with synthetic benchmarks, starting with Antutu. Version 11 was used for Android and version 10 for iPhone due to platform limitations. And right away, the difference is obvious. Among Android processors, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Generation 5 completely dominates. Not by a little, by an absurd margin. It's not even a close fight. Now, iPhones are separated here because iOS benchmarks can't be directly compared to Android. That's a limitation of cross-platform testing, not favoritism. But there are some tests where we can fairly compare both worlds, and Geekbench CPU is one of them. On Geekbench CPU, things get interesting. In multi-core performance, Snapdragon once again leads by a wide margin. But in single-core, Apple's A19 Pro takes the crown. That's classic Apple, insane single-core efficiency. Meanwhile, Exynos 2500 and Tensor G5 are almost 40 to 45% behind the leaders. And no, that's not a small gap. That's a different performance class. Moving to GPU performance. With Geekbench GPU, we can't compare Android and iOS directly, but within Android devices, Snapdragon and Dimensity both show excellent Vulkan results. However, when we switch to OpenCL, Qualcomm's Adreno 840 pulls ahead clearly. Tensor G5 performs poorly here. Honestly, it's not even competitive. Exynos 2500 also struggles and fails to keep up with the top-tier chips. So what about Apple's GPU? To properly compare it, a 3D Mark Solar Bay Extreme test was used. This test measures real-time ray tracing performance, and the result? Apple's A19 Pro absolutely destroys everything else. We're talking more than double the performance of Exynos 2500. It's not even close. Apple's GPU architecture is on another level when it comes to ray tracing. But here's where things flip. When we move to 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme, a 20-minute stress test focused on brute force rasterization, Qualcomm takes the lead again. This test reflects current mobile games much better. Snapdragon proves to be the most reliable option for modern titles. Dimensity, however, shows aggressive thermal control. It reduces performance significantly to keep temperatures low, stabilizing around 39 degrees Celsius. Exynos and Tensor, this isn't thermal management, this is simply a lack of raw power. Now, before anyone gets angry, let's be fair. Phone design matters. Exynos 2500 is running inside an ultra-thin foldable. Snapdragon is inside a liquid-cooled gaming phone. These factors affect results, but even then, these are the best devices available to test these processors properly. Next up, AI performance, and this is the strangest comparison I've done all year. Geekbench AI results look unreal, but they're correct. Apple uses a dedicated neural processing unit, and that gives it a massive advantage in AI workloads. Apple absolutely dominates these tests. Interestingly, Exynos performs better than Dimensity here, thanks to its AMD-based Xclipse 950 GPU. When we move to neural engine tests, Apple once again crushes the competition. But keep an eye on Tensor G5. Thanks to Google's dedicated TPU, Tensor performs extremely well in AI-specific tasks. This is why Pixel phones feel smart, even when raw performance is weaker. Ironically, Siri's AI experience may not be impressive, but Apple's processor efficiency for on-device AI is one of the best in the industry. Android AI benchmarking is messy. Tensor understands Google's NNAP extremely well. Qualcomm and MediaTek use different NPU approaches. Results change depending on the app used. Now let's leave synthetic numbers behind and talk real-world performance. First, app opening speed. In a 2-round speed test, Snapdragon is the fastest overall. But here's the surprise. Dimensity finishes almost at the same time. The slowest? Tensor G5. Next, video exporting. Using CapCut, a 4K 30 frames per second video at 20 megabytes per second bitrate was exported. Exynos finishes first. Snapdragon follows closely. The iPhone takes noticeably longer, likely due to software optimization issues with this specific app version. Tensor, well, that result was expected. Web performance matters more than benchmarks. Speedometer shows why iPhones feel insanely smooth. Tensor G5 also performs well here in Chrome. Jetstream shows Snapdragon and Tensor very close, while MotionMark once again gives Apple a massive lead. These tests explain something important. Pixel phones feel fluid not because Tensor is powerful, but because the system is extremely well optimized. Imagine if Google paired that optimization with a Snapdragon chip. Yeah, exactly. Now gaming, the real test. All games were tested using Geekbench Pro. In Call of Duty Mobile at very high graphics, most phones hold 60 frames per second. But when frame rate is set to maximum, Exynos is capped at 60. Red Magic pushes up to 144 frames per second. Tensor and A19 Pro fail to maintain stable maximum output. Dimensity holds surprisingly well. Dead Cells shows high performance overall, but only Snapdragon and Dimensity consistently push past 60 frames per second. Zenless Zone Zero separates the champions from the pretenders. Everyone averages close to maximum, but Snapdragon is the most stable. Tensor has the worst 1% lows. The frame graph looks chaotic. Genshin Impact tells a similar story. Dimensity performs well. Tensor and Exynos fall behind. On iPhone, the game can run at 120 frames per second. On Red Magic, frame generation helps achieve similar smoothness, and stability still favors Snapdragon. Wuthering Waves is the most demanding game here. Pixel and Z Flip struggle badly. Average frame rates collapse quickly. Snapdragon remains stable. So, what's the final answer? Apple and Qualcomm are clearly on top. Dimensity is close, sometimes very close, but inconsistent. Exynos and Tensor, honestly, it's hard to justify them in phones this expensive. Before we end, quick favor. Most people watching right now are not subscribed. If this breakdown helped you even a little, hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps more than you think. Now your turn. Would you pick raw gaming power, AI intelligence, or smooth everyday performance? Drop your answer in the comments. Pros and cons. Pros and cons. Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 Pros, best gaming performance, strongest GPU stability, excellent efficiency. Cons, requires good cooling to shine. Apple A19 Pro. Pros, best single-core CPU, insane ray tracing, top-tier AI. Cons, limited gaming flexibility, platform restrictions. Dimensity 9500. Pros, strong multi-core, good gaming, solid efficiency. Cons, aggressive throttling under sustained load. Exynos 2500 Pros, decent AI performance. Cons, weak GPU, poor gaming stability. Tensor G5 Pros, excellent AI integration, smooth system experience. Cons, weak raw performance, poor gaming results. This was Tips in Tech. Stay curious, stay honest. See you in the next one.